Hello, it's Tom again. Today, today's video is about family dynamics, um, especially as they revolve around kids, siblings. You know, uh, you think of the uh, three-child family. You usually have, your leader, and you have the baby, and then you've got your middle child. It's the kind of standard way you think of it. And oftentimes you hear about middle child syndrome, and he's got jealousy issues, or is always looking for attention or whatever. And there's some logic to it. So let's look at it from a scholarly perspective, and change up the titles. You have your hero, you have your clown, you have your scapegoat, and the invisible child. Now there's four there, but all four of those roles always exist in a particular circumstance. And if you only have three kids, or if you only have two kids, then, at least one of your other children's got to do double duty on filling out those roles. So, what's that situation? Addicted parents. Um, Whether it's, you have a gambling addict, or maybe somebody's on meth, or it's the guy who, the mother or the father who only drink on weekends, but they go. Dad might go through a case of beer on weekends. Mom goes through a magnum of wine by herself on Saturday night. That still counts. Or I just have a beer with my lunch. That's no big deal. Or look, I'm just taking a quick uh, pull off this J on lunch break. It doesn't hurt nobody. I'm in control. These are functional addicts, but they're still addicts. And they completely unconsciously always assign these roles. Now, it's not always the middle child who ends up being a scapegoat. It just happens to be more common. It's easier for the middle child to be scapegoated when, okay, you've trained up the first child to the standard you want, and they're setting the bar, uh, hopefully. And so, then you got your baby, and that's the one that you socialize with the most, and that's the one you teach to socialize the most. And they end up becoming the comedian or the clown. Um, and then when it comes to the invisible child and it comes to the scapegoat, it's like, well, something is wrong, and the middle child, you never really learned for some reason to socialize properly. It's the parents, they're the reason. And they don't know how to express themselves, and there's always something wrong, and they're always there, and it's always their fault. And you know what? Your other two kids, they pick up on that. And whether or not they consciously or unconsciously do it, and sometimes it's unconscious, and sometimes it's deliberate, they take advantage of it too, and it becomes the rallying point around which an alcoholic family uh, sticks together, so to speak, because family must always stick together. That's kind of the rallying cry of the addict family. Family always sticks together. And why does this happen? Why does that dynamic happen? And unfortunately, it's because when you have an addiction, you literally have a problem you're not addressing. And part of that is you have to solve other problems. You have to see other problems. You scapegoat. And when you're not busy talking about, say, those people over there, whoever those people happen to be, and whenever you don't have that available because now you're at home, I mean, you do get it a bit from television, but when you're at home, you still need that scapegoat when you don't have those distractions from the outside world, because that helps you continue to ignore your problem. And that problem goes on beyond alcohol to many different directions, or beyond weed to many different directions. Too many to actually go through in a single video, certainly in under, I'd try to keep these below 7 minutes. So it's something to think about. If you find yourself saying that person has middle child syndrome, that means you've been exposed at the very least to alcoholic family dynamics, to a very large extent. If you find yourself saying your child has middle child syndrome, then I'm afraid I have bad news for you. It's something to think about.